very first tutorial.
Today Imriel will show you how to make armor pieces with EVA foam.
Since we do love Overwatch, we're gonna build Reaper's bracers from the Halloween skin. Let's start from the tools you need. A pen, scissors, cutter, super glue, a heat gun, a Dremel, and of course foam. You will also need patterns. You can make your own like I did, or download blueprints from the internet. Either way, make sure that all the pieces have the right curve in order to give your bracer the exact same shape as the original. Let's start with drawing all the parts on the base on foam. Mine is a high-density 0.5 cm thick EVA. Remember to change your blade often to keep your cuts neat. Make sure to always write reference numbers on the edges of each piece, so you will know which ones have to be glued together. Heat up all the pieces and give them a little curve. This will help when you will glue them together, because the bracer will keep its shape more easily. I use an Italian brand of glue, but any yellow super glue will work. Apply on both sides and let it dry for 5 minutes at least. Then stick the pieces together, making sure the curve is maintained. Other kinds of glue may work differently, so read the instructions and pay extra care to its drying time, because this part will undergo a lot of stress. For the upper piece, I used a 1 cm thick foam sheet. Cutting it will be way harder, so be careful and get a new blade before you start. Also remember to make a copy of the pattern, because you will have to cut it for the details and you will need it again for the other bracer. After all, we all know that symmetry is any cosplayer's worst enemy, isn't it? Draw the details on your piece. This should be done before you thermoform it, because it will make the carving process way easier. Many people use a soldering iron for details, but I prefer to carve them with a cutter. Overall, they will look a lot cleaner like this. Put your blade at 45 degrees on the side of the details line, then start cutting very slowly. When you're done, turn the piece around and do the same. Ideally, your carving would look like a V-shaped furrow. If you did it correctly, the section will come out on its own while you cut, but that doesn't always happen. In this case, don't panic, and carefully use your fingers to pull it out. Bending the foam a little can help a lot. On the round parts, the principle is the same. Help yourself by turning the piece with your free hand. And take extra care when cutting. Remember not to rush and take all the time you need. Now, for the next part, put on a protective mask. With your Dremel, refine all the edges. Then heat them up for 2 seconds to seal the foam cells. Run your finger on them to help the process. To bend your piece, pick any suitable cylindrical object as a base. Of course, olive oil bottles are way better. Heat up the foam and keep it in position until it cools down. And now, the hardest part! Yay! Draw the outline of the upper piece on the bracer before carving out all the details. Doing it without leaning on a surface is kinda tricky, especially because these details coincide with the glue lines. Cut slowly and try to be precise. Removing the carved section can be problematic, but be patient and use the cutter to take out any remnants. At this point, you can glue the two pieces together. Remember to keep your mask on when you use this much glue, because breathing it is very unhealthy. Make sure all the lines coincide when attaching the upper part to the bracer. Almost done! Draw the skull detail and carve it. Remember to change your blade from time to time, it needs to be sharp for this. Use your Dremel to carve the eyes. And change the tip for refining them. Then heat seal everything again. For the lower plate, the process is pretty much the same. Make sure the two places' edges match and leave some space between them, as it's shown in the reference picture. Remember that a Dremel is a wonderful instrument, but you shouldn't use it too much, because it tends to ruin the foam a lot. Only rely on it for this sort of carvings and to refine edges. And our bracer is ready! Fits me like a glove. Thanks for watching! In the next tutorial, we'll paint these bracers and show you some painting techniques. Of course, if you have any questions or requests, tell us in the comments!
If you like this video, share it with your friends and subscribe for more upcoming tutorials.
See you next week!